Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome our guide, Professor Anand Kumar, and our reviewers, Professor Bhavya and Shruti ma'am. Today, here we are to present our paper on hand gesture recognition using CNN. We are from batch number B24. My teammates are Musavir Khan, Ruchita M, Satvik Nidhi, and Yadunandan. Yeah, computer is a part and parcel in our day-to-day life and used in various fields. The interaction of humans and computer is accomplished by traditional input devices like mouse and keyboards, etc. Hand gestures can be useful medium of human-computer interaction and can make interaction easier. Gesture vary in orientation and shapes from person to person, so non-linearity exists in this problem. Bobbick and Wilson have given a definition of gesture. According to them, the motion of body that intends to communicate with other agent can be defined as gesture. The sender and receiver must have same sort of information for successful gesture. Gestures vary may classified as dynamic and static. Dynamic gesture intend to vary over a period of time, and static gesture tends to remain almost unchanged over time. The key problem is how to make a computer able to understand the hand gesture. Hand gestures vary in orientation of fingers, shapes of hands. So non-linearity is one of the characteristics of hand gestures that has to be dealt. And my friend Yadunandan will continue with the problem statement.
Good afternoon, everyone. The problem statement of this project is with the development of ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous computing means software engineering or hardware engineering which can be used anytime, anywhere, in any format, which will allow the user for uh, interacting more with the computing easier by not using the devices like keyboard, mouse, and pen. These input devices are less used in this command, also limited. The direct use of hands can be used for interacting and providing input for the computing. For this purpose, hand gesture recognition will be a very good suitable example. So we are going to implement a hand gesture for giving input for the devices cover for computing. The key problem is how to make a computer able to understand the hand gesture. This is the problem we are going to solve in this project. The objectives of this project is the system objectives are created throughout the project. These objectives are made throughout the project phase where it will start and till the ending. The main objectives of this project is to successfully implement a hand detection technique to identify the symbols shown in hand, to successfully implement a method to extract useful features from the hand gestures that are provided to the computer, successfully implement a method to detect gestures, to implement the methods that are best for detecting the gestures of hand, to create an application that shows the capabilities of the system. Next, my friend Ruchita will continue with the other topics.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruchita. I will start with existing approach. In recent decades, due to computer software and hardware technologies of continuous innovations and breakthrough, the social life and the information technology have a very close relationship in the 21st century. In the future, especially the interfaces of consumer electronics products will have more and more functions and be complex. How to develop a convenient human machine interface for each consumer electronics product has become an important issue. The traditional electronic inputs devices such as mouse, keyboard, and joysticks are still the most common interaction way. And the next is proposed system. Here, the system uses a deep neural network, which is the combination of CNN and RNN. CNN means Convolution neural network. It is a type of artificial neural network which is widely used for image or object recognition and classification. And RNN is a recurrent neural network. It is a class of neural network that are helpful in modeling of sequence data. Combining of CNN and RNN will enhance the ability to recognize different actions at a very time. So we can also recognize dynamic gestures. The system comes under the vision-based gesture recognition method. It uses a camera to capture the input and gesture. The feature extractions and gesture extractions are done in the CNN model. And next, I will discuss about the paper. The title of this paper is 3D CNN-based dynamic gesture recognition for Indian Sign Language Modeling. It is published by Elsevier BV in the year 2021. Hand gestures used in Indian Sign Language are static and dynamic in the time domain. The Indian Sign Language is available as a standard, but it is still not very common among peoples. In this paper, we have used a 3D CNN to model the most utilized gestures to the Indian community. The trained model can provide a natural language output corresponding to the signs of the Indian Sign Language. This in turn will help in reducing the problem faced while communicating with deaf and dumb people. Moreover, these dynamic gestures can be used in medical, industrial, and various other fields. Network model used produces good results in terms of accuracy, precision, recalls, and FN score. And hand gestures are largely used traits of computer vision applications. These are getting used from a very long time for sign-based communications. Involvement of computers and concept of digital image processing have boosted the activities in the hand gestures modeling and recognition approaches. Sign language is an extended application of hand gestures. In spite of being introduced ages ago, standard sign language are not very common among peoples in the society. However, from a person to societal level, hand gestures have made their existence in every domain of life. Gestures control wheelchair is one of examples of persons level applications where sign language eradicate the communication gap among people and contribute to societal benefits that hand gestures provide. And next paper title is How does hand gestures in videos impact social media engagement insights based on deep learning? It is published in the year 2021. The author is Karthik Anand and Ramkrishna Mishra. With the fast improvement and development in deep learning and computer vision, the interaction between humans and computers is becoming immense. This research work aims at recognizing hand gestures performed in TEDx videos and analyze the relationship between gestures and user engagement. Here we propose a technique based on deep learning, that is CNN, to recognize hand gestures from a video or an image input. ResNext 101 model is used for the classification of hand gestures. Here we also used images from the 20 billion dataset for some gestures, while we also collected gestures images from TEDx videos. Our experiments obtained high accuracy for gestures recognition on training as 95% to 99%, and in testing it gives 94.35%. Firstly, a gesture is identified in each frame and then classified. We also created a count function that helped us to count the number of times a gesture was performed and help us analyze these talks in a better way. Two experimental studies were carried out to analyze viewer engagement. One is the effect of suitable gestures on the viewer count, and secondly, suitable gestures on the sentiment of the viewer. There are two unique methodologies for human gesture recognition: the information gloss approach and the vision-based methodology. The gloss approach comes with the obligations of using an apparatus with masses of cables, although it still presents good accuracy and speed of gesture recognition. The vision-based methodology was researched in the accompanying investigations, including the recognition and order of hand signals. This method can be considered the most practical options as this avoids the usage of additional equipment. It is critical for the infrastructure of any gestures recognition gadget to be practically applied to real science scenarios. Next, my friend will continue the presentation.
Yeah, title of next paper is Hand Gesture Recognition Using CNN for Post-Stroke People. Author of this paper is Noor Almin, Abdul Rahman Albar, Maisam Abad. It was published in the year 2019. The main advantage of this paper is results of this paper shows the testing accuracy of 99% using CNN and is an effective technique in extracting distinct features and classifying data. A human gesture is non-verbal form of communication and is critical in human-robot interaction. Vision-based gestures recognition method play a key role to detect hand motion and support such interaction. Hand gesture recognition allows a convenient and usable interface between device and users. Hand gestures can be used for various fields, which makes it be able to implement it for communication and further. Hand gesture recognition is not only useful for people who are hearing impaired and disabled, but also for the people who experience a stroke, as they need to communicate with other people using different common essential gestures such as sign of eating, drinking, family, and more. In this paper, an approach for recognizing hand gesture based on convolution neural network is proposed. The developed model is evaluated and compared between training and testing models based on several metrics such as execution time, accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, positive and negative predictive value, likelihood, and root mean square. Result shows that testing accuracy is 99% using CNN and is an effective technique in extracting distinct features and classifying data. The title of next paper is A Deep Convolutional Neural Network Approach for Static Hand Gesture Recognition. Author of this paper are Aditya V and Rajesh R. Publisher of this paper is Elsevier BV and it was published in the year 2020. And advantage of this paper is the method has been tested on two publicly available datasets, that is NUS hand posture dataset and American finger spelling A dataset, and achieved better recognition accuracies. According to this paper, communication barrier and the hearing majority are key social concerns of deaf and dumb community that prevent them from accessing the basic and essential services of the life. Even though the problem has been addressed with even though the problem has been addressed with the innovations in automatic sign language recognition, an adequate solution has not yet been attained due to number of challenging factors. Most of the existing works try to develop vision-based recognition through classical pattern analysis approached by delivering complex hand-crafted features. But the efficiency of those methods are very limited to work with large sign vocabulary captured in complex and uncontrolled background conditions. This paper proposes a methodology for recognizing the hand gesture, which is the prime component in sign language vocabulary. Based on an efficient deep convolutional neural network architecture, the method has been tested on two publicly available datasets, that is NUS and NUS hand posture dataset, and achieved better recognition accuracies. Thank you. The next paper presentation will be continued by Edunandan.
Next paper title is Static Hand Gesture Recognition Based on Convolutional Neural Networks. Authors are Raimundo F. Pinto Jr., Carlos D. B. Borges, Antonio M. Almeida, and Elise C. Paul Jr. It was published by Sindwai Journal of Electrical and Computer Engineering in the year 2019. The advantages of this proposed system paper is accuracy rate of present is 94.7%, and for some CNNs it is reaching till 96%. Here 24 gestures of image basis are used, and some automation technique is used to CNN for classification. Here in this technique, the methodology used is the images are obtained from the database. Then the image go through the image processing stage in which the following operations occur. Color segmentation will be done by MLP network, a morphological operations of erosion and closing. Counter generation, the polygonal approximation to remove image noise and detect the object clearly. After the segmentation, the binary images are obtained. So a logical AND operation is performed between these images and the originals in order to preserve the information contained in the figure, the surface of the AND. After these steps, the images are used to train a CNN and assess the performance of the technique with cross-validation. Finally, the validated results are analyzed and the accuracy of the CNN is outputted.
The seventh paper title is Hand Gesture Recognition Using Convolutional Neural Network. So the authors are Raj Patel, Jas Dhakar, Kashish Desai, Tane Gupta, and Professor Steveni Korea. So it is published by International Conference on Computing, Communication and Automation, ICCCA, in the year 2018. So in this paper, to tackle the difficulties faced by hearing impairment, it is need of a heart to develop a system which translate the sign language into text, which can easily be recognized by the impaired people. In this paper, a static hand gesture recognition system is developed for American Sign Language using deep convolutional neural network. The system architecture is lightweight to make the system easily deployable and mobile. In order to achieve high accuracy on live scenarios, we employ a number of image processing techniques which assist in appropriate background subtraction and frame segmentation. In this paper, the product is mobile, has a focuses on mobility and cost-free, and easy deployment is low computational environment. Our system in this paper is achieved in the testing accuracy of 96%. So the result of this paper is our system is adaptive and perform robustly under varied lighting and background condition. The proposed system of this paper is a computationally low cost and can deployed in a mobile setting while making it suitable for real-time applications. The research related to the vision-based gesture is still in progress, and our future research would be based on the further improvement of accuracy. And in this paper, they are concentrating only on the static gestures, and they are updating and going to update the dynamic gestures in the further future. So the next paper next paper title is Static Hand Gesture Recognition Using Convolutional Neural Network with Data Augmentation. So this paper authors are Muhammad Zahirul Islam, Muhammad Shahadat Hussain, Rehanul Islam, and Carl Addison in the year 2018. And in this paper, the gestures vary in orientation and shapes from person to person. So non-linearity exists in the problem. Recent research has proved that the supremacy of convolutional neural network for image representation and classification Since CNN can learn the complex and non-linear relationship among the image, in this paper, the static hand gesture recognition method using CNN was proposed. Data augmentation like rescaling, zooming, sharing, rotation, width and height shifting was applied to the dataset. The model was trained on 8,000 images and tested on 1,600 images, which were divided into 10 classes. The model with augmented data achieved accuracy of 97.12%, which is nearly 4% higher than the model without augmentation. So the result of this paper is, although the system can recognize gestures successfully, some extension is still possible. For example, by applying the knowledge-driven methodology such as belief rule-based, which is widely used where uncertainty becomes a issue. So hence the recognition of the gesture can be accomplished more accurately. More gestures can be added to the list of recognition. So next we will move to the survey finding. So here in this hand gesture recognition approach can be broadly divided into three categories, that is hand segmentation approach, gesture recognition approach, and feature extraction approach. So first is hand hand segmentation approach or tracking approach should be always done in an efficient manner, as they are in the key of success towards any gesture recognition. Because of the challenges, vision-based method pose such a intensity of the continuous variation of lighting, many objects in the background and detected. So the color is very powerful descriptor for the object detection. Thus, color information was used to segment purpose, which is invariant to rotation and geometrical variation of the hand. So next we will take to gesture recognition approach. So gesture recognition approach is nothing but the gesture we are showing. So the gesture we are showing is be recognized by the camera, and the widely used method make use of hand motion to convey hand signs, and the motion is tracked and translated to the text. Hand motions are categorized using clustering techniques such as k-means. So next is feature extraction approach. So feature extraction approach is nothing but feature extracting is defined as the process of transforming input data into set of features. So the important features are extracted from the input we are taking. So the general expectation is that the feature is set will be extracted the information which is irrelevant from the input data. If we extract the feature carefully in order to perform the desired task, using this reduce the representation instead of full size input. So next is background subtraction. So in here, no, from the papers we have studied or we have taken, so we have taken that the background with the image we are showing, the background is subtracted by the K Gaussian distribution, and max pooling layer to reduce the dimension of the feature map. So max pooling layer is used to reduce the dimensions which we are the features we are extracting, the dimension is reduced by the max pooling. And then we will use convolution layers composed of many methodological layers, and the filters are used in the convolution layers. For example, rectified linear unit. So this is a one type of filter, a activation function applied to introduce non-linearity in our model. So the data set is taken from the hand gesture recognition database. So hand gesture recognition database, we have many sort of database. So from that, from the paper, we have decided to take the data set from the hand gesture recognition database. So combining CNN and RNN, that is convolutional neural network and recurrent neural network. So we will enhance the ability to recognize different action at the varied time. So we can also recognize dynamic gestures. So if we use CNN, it is only restricted to the static gestures. And if we add RNN, combining both, we can move forward to the dynamic gestures also. So next we will move to initial designing. So here the data set we are using is divided into training sets and testing sets. So the training sets, first we will train our model. When the model is completed, we'll train the model from the training set, and then the testing set is given to predict the output. It is coming, or the output is correct or wrong. By predicting that, we can see the accuracy of the model. So this is the initial design of our project. So thank you.
Hello. Hello, Muzawir.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, how many papers you did for the literature survey?
So, ma'am, 8 papers. Ma'am.
Each one of us have referred to
Only
two
8. Only 8. Only 8 you did. That is not enough, no?
Yes, ma'am. We have taken some more papers, but now for the presentation, we have took 2 papers each, and we have studied that.
More papers means give me that number, pa. Give me that number. How many papers you did? Approximately?
Approximately 12 papers we have taken. In that, only two papers.
Well, how you people have divided your job while searching the papers?
Ma'am, each one of us have went through 3 to 4 papers, ma'am. In those 3 to 4 papers, we have selected the best of 2 papers, and each one of us have worked on.
On what basis you searched? Okay, on what basis you searched?
Ma'am, we have selected on the basis of accuracy and precision, ma'am, in that model, in that papers.
No, all have searched on the basis of hand gesture.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You could have divided regarding like algorithms and the different techniques they have approached to do the hand gesture. Like that, you could have divided your work, right?
Yeah.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಅದೇ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಟೀಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಲೈಕ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಗೆಸ್ಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅಲ್ಗಾರಿದಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ದೆನ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್, ರೈಟ್? CNN ಮೇಲೆ.
Yes, ma'am.
Like that you could have do your work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then from the past review, you got some suggestion from your Victor sir, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
You got the suggestion from Victor sir. Have you tried to implement his suggestion?
Yeah, ma'am.
What you have done?
He suggested...
What suggestion you got from the Victor sir? Can you remember?
Yeah, ma'am.
Because I can remember it.
Yeah, ma'am. We have in previous presentation we had included that we'll be creating the data sets and we'll be developing a web application, so and so, ma'am. But Victor sir said rather than creating a data set, you can choose an existing data set to execute your project. So we have
correct. Have you got the data set?
Yeah, ma'am. We have planned to take up the data set name called hand gesture recognition database. There is a database in the name of hand gesture recognition database. We have planned to take up that.
Where you got? How many data sets are there? How many data are there? Where you got?
Ma'am, in that 10 to 15 data sets are there.
Ma'am, we got that. We got that database from paper called static hand gesture recognition using convolution neural network.
7th or 8th paper, I think, right?
Yeah, ma'am. With in
Huh.
8th paper, ma'am.
Okay.
We got it in 8th
8th
paper.
paper. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in
Hmm.
that data set, we have around.
Will this going to help you? Will this going to help you?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
As we have gone through all those 8 papers, ma'am, we felt this is the best data set because we have images that belongs to 800 class. In the sense, we have
Okay.
around, just a minute, ma'am. We are working on just 9 to 10 symbols, ma'am. For only for 9 to 10 symbols, there are each class has 800 images for training, ma'am,
Okay.
and 160 images
Okay.
for testing purpose.
Will
totally-
that reach all your attributes what your algorithms requires?
That is,
You got my question?
yeah, ma'am.
Will it give you all kind of attributes what your algorithm is going to require to give you the accuracy? ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಎಲ್ಲ attributes
ಇದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಇದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Yes, ma'am.
ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
Later you should not tell. It is not helpful, so we will search for some other thing. ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, but still you have to look into that also, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ.
We will
Okay.
take this first and we'll try.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all from my side, Muzaffer. Okay.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Sir. Anand, sir. Ma'am, we think Anand sir is not online. So can we end the presentation, ma'am?
Okay, pa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
very much.
I will leave. You ask your guidance.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Should I call to answer?
Yeah.